Welcome. In this session, we'll focus on the evolution of the historical trajectory specifically for maternal and child health. Now, the maternal and child health has been renamed as reproductive and child health under the recent versions, and therefore, we would be focusing on both the approaches in this section. So, very first thing is the pre-RCH era, which was the maternal and child health era. Now, this era has been considered from 1950s to 1960s post independence, and this is where the women's health was mainly viewed from the ideas of controlling the population. So the sole objective was control of population. Now, after 1990s, the idea changed to what was called as the RCH, which is the reproductive and child health care. Now, the previous framework talked about maternal and child health. It was a subcomponent, we could say, of the family planning mechanism that was prevalent during that time, and specifically the 1976 National Population Policy, which was one of the major aspects of it, right? However, the most important thing was that logic during that time, when it was the maternal and the child health, was to reduce the infant mortality rate, and this would theoretically reduce the desire of an individual to have large families. Now, once the mortality rate is curtailed, the families would automatically switch to a smaller size, and that was the sole idea which was commonly prevalent during that time. Also, it considered that the major role of the female was reproduction, and this was one of the major critique that operated for the management of population stabilization. So those women, it's very important to note that those women who were outside the reproductive age group or not pregnant female were not counted under the health and family planning, right? So health planning was given only to the females who were in the reproductive age group. That means the adolescent and the teens were not given healthcare facility. However, post 1990s, this facility was considered as a comprehensive well-being of the female and throughout their reproductive age, right? So even throughout the reproductive age and outside the reproductive age. Now, after the maternal child health program, which was a subsumed program under family health planning, there was another important program which was released, and this was CSSM. Now, this CSSM was Child Survival and Safe Motherhood Program from 1992 to 97. The idea was to actually curtail the rising figures which were seen specifically for maternal mortality and infant mortality. So, that time the maternal mortality was somewhere at around 400 per 1 lakh of live birth, and infant mortality somewhere at around 81. The target was to reduce the infant mortality to half, that is around 50%, okay, and then reduce the maternal mortality even by 200. So half of both the values was the major target during this program. There was another important aspect that was prevalent, and that was to bring in emergency obstructive care. Now, obstetric care during the emergency was one of the important aspects which was launched as part of CSSM program, that is Child Survival and Safe Motherhood, which included nearly 1300 first referral units to be supported, and a World Bank grant was given along with UNICEF grant, and together this grant accounted for somewhere around rupees 1000 crore, which was a substantial amount to bring in developments in this segment. The another important aspect that we need to understand here was the safe motherhood component, which was the basic idea of this program talked about the chronic shortages during that time, specifically for obstetricians, that is the gynecologists and obstetricians, that is the doctors, as well as the anesthesiologists. So there was a shortage of specialists in this field which was identified, and that led to the failure to manage the severe anemia cases that were coming or being recorded